Welcome back to another live stream. Got the crutches in camera tonight. So there they are. My armpits and these crutches are close friends these days. So let me know if the audio's good. It looks just a little hot. So let me bring this down just a little bit. Let me know if that is better. It was going in the red, which basically Aaron Parecki does all the time. So who knows, maybe in the red is fine. Well, I am back. Sorry, I was not here last week. I was still recovering. And so I'll talk more about that here in a minute because I want to let people jump on. I do not want to have to repeat myself. Also, there is a poll going on right now. So if you guys would take a minute and answer the poll question, it is, will you purchase the new HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro? Yes or no? We have 9 votes, 44 yeses, 56 no's. And we may talk a little bit about some reasons why people may not want to purchase right now. Sorry, I'm a little bit far back because I had my foot up this evening on my sub. It sits about that far off the floor. It's my Bose sub for my surround sound in here for watching TV. And then I have my big sub underneath my computer over here on my shoulder. But again, we're going to talk a little bit about Blackmagic Design's announcement. Friday, I got a chance to watch the 2.5. Well, people say it's 2.5. I think it was longer than that. If you look at all the updates to DaVinci Resolve 20, which is open for beta right now. I'm not a DaVinci Resolve user, but I do have some clients that use it. So not that I'm against DaVinci Resolve. I've actually thought about making the leap from Adobe to DaVinci Resolve. We'll see. I just want to say hi now, though, for a few minutes here in the chat. So let's put chat on the air. Oh, we don't want to do that because I haven't fixed it over here yet. So let's turn that off. What happened here? Somehow chat got pulled to the bottom. There we go. Let's do this first. Let's see. Click on that again down here. Okay, there we go. So I'm glad to be back this week. I'll give you a little update on my recovery. Please hit the like button. Yeah, the like button really does help the algorithm. So I appreciate you guys if you hit that. Chio Walker said, glad to have you back. And thank you, Chio. I really am glad to be back. I did not live stream last week for a number of reasons, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Chio has a question here we'll come back to. Let me say hi to everybody here. Grish, it's good to have you still in the front row. Sorry about your frustration trying to find me. If you type in Keith Bennett and then ATEM Mini Pro or HyperDeck, my YouTube channel should pop up, at least in Google. I don't know, because obviously every time you search for something, the bots look at what you're looking at and then they serve you up things. So if you are finding me on YouTube and you subscribe and you hit the bell icon and you turn on all, you should get an alert 10 to 15 minutes before I go live. I don't know. Maybe you're getting an alert right now and I've already been live for a few minutes. But anyway, you look at it. Halen said, hi, that's my granddaughter. So hi, Halen. It's always great to have you join me. Juris Design is here. Thank you for joining in on tonight's live stream. Says hi to everybody. Let's see. Let's get down here. DJ Ware, it's good to have you in the house. Hank, it's good to have you in the house. 5.5, press record. Yeah. I don't ever use these, but thank you for that. I do have record on, and Hank is always watching for that. So again, if I was feeling up to it, I would do some video editing of a lot of my ATEM or my Tuesday night live streams and just cut out some shorts. But again, I'll talk more about that. Let me make sure I have caught everybody here so far in the chat. I will pop that up there. That's kind of cute, Hank. The medical use for a subwoofer, yeah, is to put your foot up. Okay, so let's go back here. I think I said hi to Chio, hi to Grish, hi to Hank, hi to DJ Ware, Juris Design said hi. So hopefully more people will jump in. And if not, fine. If you're watching this later, please subscribe to the channel. Again, if you can't chat with us, I do have subscribers only chat enabled. There's lots of people out there coming into live stream, spamming something and then popping out again. And so that stops that. So basically, if you subscribe 1 minute later, you can chat. And if you've already subscribed, then you can chat every week with me. I do enable the chat to replay. So if you are watching this live later, you can see the chat on the side if you open it up. And you can also see the chats on the video on YouTube that I'm recording. So you guys can see some of these comments. And my goal in 2025, one of my primary goals is to make the live streams more interactive. That's why I have the polls up. I did forget to do a poll the last couple live streams because I was kind of out of it. So make sure you answer the poll tonight. Will you purchase the new HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro? And if I remember, I have another poll I want to do a little bit later, but it looks like we have 9 votes. So there's 9 people out there, and 44 yeses say that they will buy the new HyperDeck, a new HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro, and 56 no's. And we'll talk maybe about that in a little bit. But if you have not answered that and you are watching during the live stream, you should be able to answer that poll. And if you're watching it delayed, go ahead and put your comment in the chat below. I'd love to hear from you, where you're watching from, and join us some Tuesday. Right now, we're on daylight savings time in the Pacific Northwest. So it's Pacific Daylight Time rather than Pacific Standard Time. So that's kind of what whacks things up, spring forward, fall back. So hopefully you guys are joining us. Some people will be joining late. They've already texted me, so I understand that. So good. It's great to have you. Let's go now and go through some of these early questions, and I'll talk about tonight's agenda. Let's see here. Gio says this: I hope they make an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO GT with the USB 4 port, since I don't have Thunderbolt, but I doubt they will. Yeah. We'll talk about that later, but that's a great point. Thunderbolt computers. When I bought my big PC, which is over here, I don't have a shot of that right now. I guess I sort of do. Let me change to camera 1. So right here is my PC. And so it's right here. Let's get the microphone out of it. Let me just switch mics here. Go to the wireless Go mic. So here's my PC, and I did not order this with a Thunderbolt port, which is a bummer, because I would be using it with some device. Now I still could put a DeckLink card in it. There are plenty of spots available to do that, but again, USB 4, then Thunderbolt. You got 2, 3, and 4, I think, now available. Thunderbolt 5 is being released in a lot of computers right now this year. And the difference is it just gets faster and faster. More data can be transferred back and forth. And they did add a Thunderbolt 3 port to the G2. And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's important later. And I'll give you guys my impressions on that. But let's couple more here I saw. Hope you're keeping your broken leg ankle elevated. Thank you, Hank. Let's see, did I get Chio's question up there? There it is, if you didn't see that. Thunderbolt 3 is what that device has, and we'll talk about that a little bit later tonight in tonight's live stream. So yeah, talked about having it elevated on the Bose. I took about an hour break up until 3:35, and then came in here to get ready to go live. And so we'll talk about the recovery here in just a minute. But again, let's see what else we have here. Here's Grish's comment about never being able to find my channel. Again, if you just type in Keith Bennett, 2 N's, 2 T's, and then ATEM Mini Pro or HyperDeck, I should pop up. I'm known for the HyperDeck videos. Now I'm known for my ATEM mini video. Those are some of the best performing videos. Also the NZXT, they make computers. They had kind of a hiccup recently with their crazy lease program, but you can go search that online. But they build computers. I have one that I built when I first opened this man cave before I was going live. So I did not do an unboxing video of that, but I did do an unboxing video of my son's NZXT computer. So that video has well over 20,000 views, and I think that would pop up too. So if you typed in Keith Bennett and NZXT, that will probably pop up too. If you want to test that, go ahead. Do it right now and let me know in the chat if that pops my name up. And again, remember, if you're searching for me all the time, it's not the same as someone that's never used a web browser or that's new trying to find me. That's why I posted on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I do not have an Instagram account. That's all the social media that I want to deal with. And I'm not trying to really build a lot of my channel stuff that way. I'm just really focusing on YouTube. And the only way I have a stream of income coming in is super chats, which are enabled. Anything else that you could do during the live streams, then I get some advertisement funds back from Google AdSense. And then I also occasionally put associate links with Amazon on my channel. And then you pay the same, but I will get a little bit back from Amazon. Usually I get them in coupons, and then I just use that to buy things for the channel. I've used those coupons to buy things like this, which is a Raspberry Pi case. I've used those coupons just for everything in the studio, things on my shelf, things I've used to hook up my studio. So always thank you for using those affiliate links when they're in the descriptions. And I've been lazy during my recovery to deal with those. Okay, anybody else pop in? No. Okay, Grish is assembling his wife's new desk. Perfect thing to watch and listen on the side. Cool. Glad that you are listening while you're working for your wife there. I'm sure there's some bonus points in that. And maybe special dinner tonight. You might even get a kiss. So we'll just see. Okay. And then I talked about this. If you type those things in, you should find me. No, it's not different. The setup I have right now are Manfrotto friction arms, and they're failing me. So I actually recommend a small rig friction arm. Again, if I cut the camera, this camera right here, this camera right here is on a Elgato a small rig friction arm, and it has like a different type of elbow bracket. So that's really important if you want to be able to keep it from slipping down, where I find the other ones are failing after time. I've had to rebuild them. So my goal is, it's going to cost me $200 to get two more. My goal is to replace this camera arm and that camera arm. So it got discombobulated tonight. I have a bad leg. I'm not going to try to lean over the desk. I've messed with it as much as I can. And so that's what's different tonight. Mainly that. Hopefully it's focusing. Sometimes with the Elgato Prompter on it, so I can see chat, which is not working very well tonight. Let me minimize that. Yeah, it's just weird tonight. Got this default thing going on. Let me move this out. And let's do it again. I guess I could show this. So what I'm doing is I'm popping out the chat. So if I was to stop this and then go back here to these three little dots, then what I do is I pop out chat on both of my computers. So then I drag this over. I can just, this is an Asus, say they have this little feature built in, so it sees how many monitors I have. So I can just drag and drop this over the monitor I want, and it will go in there. So that's monitor 3, which is my prompter. And it's still not working very well. And I don't know, let's try this. Let's bring it back again. Sorry, guys, please stand by here. You go back to me and my camera. Okay, let's undo that again. Let's zoom out Windows. Let's see if this helps. Pop out chat. Drag it over to window 3. Yeah, so you can get more screen by zooming in. So Control minus, Control plus on your keypad zooms in and zooms out. So I just discovered something on my prompter. I never realized that if before you pop out the chat, if you zoom out to make the screen smaller and smaller on YouTube, then when you pop out the chat, it stays that size and you can see the chat way better. So this is a million times better in my prompter. And I just have it up there so I can read what you guys are saying while I'm looking right at you. And then I control the chat with my other PC, my NZXT PC, and it's an i9 processor with 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a RTX, let's see, a GeForce RTX 2080 Ti, so older technology now on the camera, on the card. And I use that for playing games, even though you can't get anywhere close on some of the newer games that enable everything. Even though it's an i9 with 32 gigs of RAM, it's an older version of the Intel i9 processors, like 6-7 years old now. I forget what generation it is. And also the graphics card is not near fast enough now to handle these new games like the new Indiana Jones game, which is really cool. And I had a little cameo of that here on the channel a few weeks back, about 5 weeks ago. I think, not count 5 videos ago, not counting the times I've been off. Okay, so let's just stop right here. It's after quarter after. Let's talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the new HyperDeck, and I'm going to give you my input. If you look at the still image tonight, you can see I call it the Hyperstein. So Frankenstein, Hyperstein. So that's where I came up with the name, because in reality, based on the still image, you can see you're really combining 4 different products into one. And you're also even doing some of that on the G2, which we're going to talk about as well. So we're going to start tonight with a HyperDeck. That's kind of been where my channel came from. I have 3 HyperDecks in my studio right now. The older HyperDeck Mini, which does have key and fill. I have the newer HyperDeck Shuttle HD Plus. It does have key and fill. I have the Shuttle, which we're going to talk about tonight. It does not have key and fill. What does that mean? It doesn't have those 2-channel SDI channels to be able to do animated graphics. And you can do that through a HyperDeck. You can also do it through DeckLink cards from a device plugged into Thunderbolt on your laptop, or a card directly into like a Mac or a PC, and like a mainframe Mac or PC. But if you just have Thunderbolt laptop or like a Mac Pro or something like that, then you can use the Thunderbolt port into a device. And we'll talk a little bit about why that has anything to do with the new HyperDeck here in a minute. So just wanted to say hi to everybody. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, let's talk about my foot. Okay, again, I have the crutches here tonight, and what happened is that they had me in a splint for a week. Then I had surgery, and then 2 weeks later, they said to come in with the splint on. They put a brand new splint on after my surgery. Those of you who don't know, I broke my ankle in 2 places, super bad damage. They had to rebuild it, so I have pins and plates and screws in my ankle. That all happened about 4 weeks ago on Thursday. So this Thursday, it'll be 5 weeks. So the recovery is surgery, 2 weeks, then they see you. They take, hopefully if everything's going good, they take the splint off, the second one that was put on, one in the hospital, one when I went in to do surgery. Took that off, said, yeah, you're good to put a boot on. They gave me this boot, and it has the ability to pump up in the sides of it to really support your ankle. Well, I did that and started using it to go to like places like church, or occasionally Shannon and I just get out of the house and go for a drive. So I wanted to just get out of the house. And so I put the boot on to protect my foot. Well, that's super aggravated in that week and a half. my stitches on the left side of my foot. It aggravated both sides and set them both back probably 5 days or more. So the left side got really bad. So all of last week, including last Tuesday, I had to just keep my foot elevated. So I wanted to talk about what was going to be announced on Friday with Blackmagic Design. And if you don't know that, they did a major announcement on their website before NAB, which is the National Association of Broadcasters, which is going on, started Sunday in Las Vegas, Nevada, 2025. So April, I believe the date started on either the 8th or the 9th. I can't remember. And so on Friday, 2 days before people were let in the doors, like people were setting up on probably Friday and Saturday in Las Vegas, but they didn't let anybody actually into the displays until Sunday. And so this big announcement happened on Friday, and lots of products were introduced, like the two we're going to talk about tonight. I might touch on a third if we have time. So again, I wanted to do that video. I wanted to go live. Really, I wanted to go live on Friday afternoon, but I just could not do it. So say hi here real quick to Bert. It's good to have you tonight. What do you think about the new ATEM? We're going to talk about that tonight. Good to see you, Doug. Always good to have you. Just want to say hi to you guys. So we are going to talk about that tonight. There you can see the G2 in my ATEM or in my still image tonight. So that's going to be part of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the new Hyperstein, Frankenstein, the HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro as well tonight. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so back to me. The update is I am healing now. My wife, because she does stitches and things like that for her practice, she is a midwife. So they have to be able to do lots of things that regular doctors do or nurses do. There's licensing, certification that takes place. They can even prescribe certain drugs that have to do with that after years of experience. And my wife's been doing it for, I believe, training for over 15 years. She's been an official midwife, I think, for 12. So she had tools. And so rather than going back in to see my doctor, she was able to doctor up the inside of my leg. And then Dr. Shannon, my wife, said, you need to stay off of it as much as you possibly can. So for me, it was like bathroom visits on my wonderful crutches, and then occasionally go make coffee. But most of the time during that last week and a half, my wife started having to wait on me again. I was so glad to have the boot because I was getting up, making myself breakfast and doing everything I could to just take some of that pressure off of her because she was doing enough without having to deal with me. So long story short, I am still healing up. I'm supposed to go see the doctor 2 weeks from today. So I have 2 weeks left in the boot. And then what they're supposed to say is I can put pressure on it and start learning to use it again. I'm supposed to be drawing the alphabet with my foot. So what does that mean? That means, I just basically put my foot up and then draw A, B, C, and that gives you the mobility back. Because again, I got pins and plates and craziness in my leg. And so I'm recovering for that, and that is enough about my journey. So it has limited me for my channel. It limits me working in the studio. I have to do pretty much everything on crutches. I'm keeping the boot off, so I have to be super, super, super careful. So I have a barefoot right now, and so I don't have any protection on this, so falling is not an option for me. I also went to look at some trusses 2 Mondays ago with a friend of mine, and my crutches slipped out from under me, and I slipped down on concrete, and I was on pain medication, so I didn't realize how bad I hurt myself. But to be completely honest with you, once I got off all the pain medication, including Tylenol and Advil, I'm still taking bones healing support stuff. It's not over the counter, just taking vitamins, all my daily stuff. I do take a thyroid pill, which is prescribed, so I'm still taking all that stuff. But I got off of all of the Advil, all of the painkillers this last weekend. And then I realized that my shoulder got hurt, my wrist got hurt holding the crutches, my shoulder got tweaked with the crutches. I kind of pulled a muscle on this side of my back, or I may have dislocated a rib right here. So I was having rib pain. So quite an interesting journey. So note to self, just stay off your feet. But again, I'm just like all of the men out there and the women out there that are independent. I did not want my wife having to wait on me. So that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. Okay. DeckLink card requires that your motherboard is compatible. Yeah, and I haven't checked the compatibility list yet, Chio, and I have probably not going to put it ever in this computer. I'm going to eventually update my NZXT to something newer. I rarely have time to play games, though I like to do it during Christmas with my kids when they're in town. We'll come in here, I'll fix the TV so it's on the PC and we can play games on there, sit in the man cave / studio, podcast studio, and play games together. My kids are all grown, so now I'm playing video games with my grandkids and as well as my kids and their wives and anybody else that comes over during the Christmas time. Daniel, good to have you. Love the new HyperDeck, but I have 3 already, and I do not use them much. Keith, I love your channel. Oh, man, I thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. Again, hit the like button if you enjoyed tonight's video. So what I want to do tonight is tell you again, we're gonna talk about the new HyperDeck. Again, in the still image here, let me just do it this way this time. Let's get things open here that need to be open, because this is going to weird out my computer here. Let's go. Where is that macro? In a slideshow. So that's the old ATEM. Obviously, you guys know that very well. So there is my still image. So those are 2 things we're going to talk about tonight. Plus, I put in the notes tonight, if you looked at it, but there was a price increase. So I'll touch on that later tonight. I'm not going to dwell on that, but I want to dive in to this new tool right here. And so there you go. I can zoom in on that. Let's see. That is, what is that in Super Source? Wake up here, Keith. Box 2. I'll just zoom the box in. So that's just the way I rendered the graphic and brought it into tonight's live stream. And if you don't crop it, then it stays small. And Blackmagic Design always does all their graphics, their TIFF files, super high resolution. So you want to go to their media page at the bottom of their site. I'll show you guys where that's at and download those. Then you want to bring them into software, crop it, and then re-render it, or it always shrinks it down in the middle of a box. And obviously that's what's happening here. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So let's go number 1. So let's go over here. Yeah, so this is the right way to look. So these are, if you go to their homepage, so we're going to go to, let's just walk through this. Let's copy this, Blackmagic Design. And then we will just drop it in here, the browser. And then this page pops up. And then if you just want to see products, you click on products. You want to see resellers, support. That's where all the downloading files are available for you. And then developers, company, media. Again, you got media pages right here where you can go through and grab these press releases for each of these items. So here's DaVinci Resolve. And if you scroll down, these graphics are available. You just click on the download icon right here. So just a shout out, DaVinci Resolve has some really cool updates. So make sure you guys go back and watch Grant's video. And so if we go back to products and then click on home again, if you scroll down here, this is the video. So this is the video that many of us got a chance to watch right here. And so basically, if you scroll through this, you can see Grant introducing all these new products. And here he is talking about the shuttle and how to use it and how important this device is in their opinion. And so that's what we really want to focus on right now. So let's click on products. And let's see, I'm going to go back to home. And then I'm going to scroll down to the product that I want us to talk about right now, which is the HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro. And this is the product page. So like I did in my still image, this is a combination, in my opinion, of a number of different tools. You have the HyperDeck Shuttle, which I can pop on the screen right now. Let me go over here. I'm just going to throw it over top of me. So that's it right there. So that's where we've come from. And that device did not have fill and key out the back, has HDMI in, HDMI out. So it was a great device for looping through. So you could come out of your camera into the HyperDeck, back out again. And then if you hit the record button right there on the top row, it will then show you the video coming from your camera. If you hit the play button second to the right on the bottom row, then it will show you whatever clips are inside of it. But you can't see anything. There's no LCD screen. There's a lot of things missing from this device, where if you go back to a traditional HyperDeck of any kind, and I don't have one in here ready to show you, so I'll just cheat and show you this device. There's these little LCD screens, and obviously these are the outputs on the shuttle. So HDMI in, HDMI out. There was a exterior disc that would be able to record to an SD drive, like one of these, and right here. And then you had the power adapter, you had a 1G Ethernet port, and then SD card slot. And so that's all great. But as you can see, this shuttle has a lot more features. So let's just look at the back of this puppy right here. And you can tell, let's increase the size of this just a bit. Let me go into key number 1. What did I do here? And let me bring this up and over. There we go. So you can see on the back here, you have lots of new features. And on the front, you have what really is like one of their monitors. So again, like in my live still here, you can see I've included 3 devices that they have taken items from. You have their recording monitors, which are kind of built into this Stream Deck, HyperDeck, including the recording and touchscreen features. You have the Thunderbolt access, so it acts like one of their Thunderbolt devices, which you can see there next to the H in the HyperDeck. Then you have the old HyperDeck Mini, because it does have fill and key on the back. And then you also have Shuttle. It looks like a shuttle on the right with the addition of another button, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So we'll go back to me and my laptop right here. So let's put that graphic back up. So on the back, you can see that you have from right to left, you have a headphone input. And then let me make my screen full screen here. Let's go to program out. Then you have the 2 ports, A and B. So A would be alpha, that would be the main video source. And then the B SDI out will be key. And what that does is that keys out the background. So basically it's like 2 signals. Signal A is the main video, like you're seeing right now in this box would be the main video. But if this was a graphic that was going to fly across the screen, there's a key layer that goes over it. And the back layer, which is a key layer, I'll make this the back layer. This then is white. And so it goes across the screen at the same time. And so when you create these animated graphics, your HyperDeck sends 2 signals to your ATEM or whatever it is, your deck link card or if you're using a ProPresenter inside your computer, then you might be sending it out of your DeckLink card. But one way or the other, the graphics that are animated that use fill and key are going to take up 2 channels in your ATEM. And that's really important because I'm going to talk about that when we get over to the G2, how important that is. So the next port is A and B, right to left. So port 1, headphones. Let's see, can I make my mouse go over? No, can't tonight. So next to that, you have SDI loop out, SDI in. That means you could bring a SDI signal in from a camera and right back out again to a monitor. Then you have HDMI 4K out, so it has a 4K HDMI out. Below that, it has that 4K HDMI in, and this handles 60p, so 60 frames per second. So you can go 4K, 60 frames per second. That's really important for both recording and output, and so you could use this in conjunction with one of their new 4K devices. So if you wanted to buy one of the new devices that you can stream at 4K, then this would be the shuttle for you. Again, it has the big knob on it, which is great. We'll talk about that when we get back to the front panel. So next to that, you have monitor out. That gives you all the cool data on the screen. So not only does it give you a picture on a big monitor, but you get all the data, what type of file it is. Is it ProRes, DNC, whatever it is. H.265, and this will record at H.265, which is really cool. And next to that is, or above that is the remote in and out. So you can do remote controlling, which is kind of old school broadcasting. So a lot of people have decks and things that control that. There's new decks that can control HyperDecks, but with that big knob, I don't know why you'd want to do outside control. It's not really designed to go in a rack. It's designed to sit on your desk. So I would think that this would be something that you would be controlling with the knob. And again, you can automate this by hooking it into your network. And speaking of ports, not only does it have the monitor out in HDMI, it has exterior disc support. And that's really important because that is going to give you the ability to record and give you the ability to do other things. Also, this has an M.2 disc available to put in the bottom, so you can buy that when you purchase it from Blackmagic Design. It's quite more expensive, or you could buy, and they put a 2 terabyte in, so you can do your own research on M.2 discs for internal storage to see what that costs and look at the speed that they're installing. And you could go with a 1 terabyte. That would give you almost a whole day of recording at HD, or half of that at 4K, 60 frames per second. Probably would be even less than that on a 1 terabyte. But great for having graphics on there for stingers and things like that. And we'll talk about that when we get back to the page. Okay, so you have reference in, reference out. And again, that's going to be able to clock it with everything else. So HyperDecks now have reference in, reference out, and that gives you the ability to clock everything together, especially if you're going to use this as an ISO recorder. So if you just buy a device that doesn't have encoding, and you need to come out of this and go back to a web presenter, which they've changed the names right now. So we'll talk about that in a later live stream, but they've changed the name of the web presenters, and also they've changed the name of the streaming bridge, which they have a new streaming bridge device, and they have a new cloud switching setup that's available as well. And we don't have time to cover all those things. So then you have a 10G Ethernet port SD card on the top, a little bit faster SD card port. And then you have your lockable screw-in power supply. So get that off the screen here. Get a mouse, get my logo back up here. Not that. Here we go. Yeah. Let's go back to me and my laptop. So let's scroll down here and look at the front of this device. So there's the shuttle on the left, and you can see it's the same size. It just they've incorporated in the screen. They've incorporated different buttons on the front. You can see you have a little speaker on the top left. You have a headphone jack, I believe, on the back. If I remember right, let's look at the back again here. I'm almost positive. Yeah, headphone jack. Don't know what I'm smoking tonight. Must be more tired than I thought. Okay, so you can see the size comparison is designed to sit right down. It's interesting that when they were demoing it and they showed their pictures, they didn't have the G2, new ATEM Extreme ISO G2 next to it. They had the old ATEM Extreme ISO next to it. I think they were trying to let everybody know subliminally, this is a perfect addition for you to have with your ATEM. So, okay. So let's just go through here. The shuttle on the left, it's still available, and the 4K Pro on the right. You can see it's H.264 recording on the shuttle. You have H.265 recording, so you can record up to 2160 60p, where the shuttle was only HD, even though the minis, the old minis, and the new HyperDeck, not the old minis, the HyperDeck Mini used to be able to record at 2K at 30 frames per second. The newer HyperDeck Plus, which I have in my studio, will do 30 frames at 2K or 4K, excuse me. But this will do 60 frames. So it's an improvement over my HyperDeck in my studio, and it's improvement over the shuttle, obviously, because it's 4 times the resolution going from HD 60 to go into 4K 60. So you can see the buttons on here, the difference with the buttons. If we scroll back, on the top, you have a clip button on the shuttle, and on the new 4K, you have the clip button. So the buttons are identical, except for you do have the monitor button on the top left here. So you've added another button. You still have the nice dial. And again, it's not just what this looks like, but it's all the crazy things it will do. And there's a good picture. So I could have worked from this with my mouse there. So again, headphones, A and B for fill and key. These are higher resolution ports. They're 12K ports. So again, that's a change over the old ports. So keep that in mind. 4K on the HDMI in, HDMI out, where it's HD only on the old HyperDeck Shuttle. And then you have monitor out. Then you have another monitor out. So monitor out in HDMI and SDI. And usually the way Blackmagic Design has done their HyperDecks is that the HDMI has nothing on it. So you could just loop that out. But on the SDI output, you have all the data. So you want to not use that for a clean out. You would want to use the HDMI out. And I don't know if that loop out port is 4K. It's not listed on there as 4K. So keep that in mind. And I do think you can go inside the software and disable the overlays on the SDI out, but I don't know that for sure. So that's one of the things I still have to figure out. So you can see the ports on the side to let air out of it. And you can see how far out the SDIs stick out the back of that. And that's true with the new MADI out or MADI in on the new ATEM Extreme ISO G2 or version 2, generation 2. So, okay, so some things I wanted to talk about this device. So they say it's perfect for live streaming. I love the monitor because you can see your clips now, and you got a touch screen. You can drag your finger over it and scroll forward and back. So if you go back and you look at Grant's video, home, you go to Grant's video, oops, products, home. Why does it keep doing that? Shame on you. You don't want me to show the video again? So if we scroll over here to where he's got the HyperDeck again, you've got waveforms, you got touchscreen. You have the record buttons. There they are. So it's just like the monitors. Let's see if we can get a solid shot of just the buttons. Record buttons, just like on the video assist monitors. There he is hitting all the buttons. There's the record buttons. There's the monitor, clean monitor out. There is the dirty monitor out right there with all the labels on it. So you can see what the SDI looks like, but that is clean. And then he's actually playing some overlay graphics directly back from the disk right here. So we'll show this. And he's also going to demo it in this video, how to use it with replay. There he goes. He's going back and showing the stinger. So you're able to actually bring your stingers in from the device and overlay those while you play back from the device, which is perfect for things like live streaming from locations. That's going to be great. That'll keep you from having to have ProPresenter open. You still have to load those graphics, create them, and then bring those in and import them, but have them ready inside this new Shuttle 4K, and you'll be able to play those graphics back as you replay. So that's one solution for replay, for recording. And then you could loop that out to another HyperDeck and record it again if you wanted to just use it as a device to put your stingers in. I still think the new ATEM Mini Extreme ISO G2 has some better features in it for stingers using DaVinci Resolve or ProPresenter, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So let's go back in here. Just wanted you guys to see that video. So again, replay, elegant design, perfect for live production, mastering, and clip playback. So mastering, record the true broadcast master in high quality ProRes, H.264, H.265, or DNX files. You can also select between PCM, AAC, and audio. That's perfect for higher quality mastering used in like giant switchers. The large search dial helps you go forward and back. And again, you can now see the clip library, which has been a downside of all the HyperDecks. So that's a huge advantage to be able to see those clips. And I'm sure they're going to be adding new touchscreen features, I would think, to be able to cue those clips. We'll see. I haven't had a chance to play with one of these yet. Here you can see the ability to change SDI or HDMI, different formats. There you have H.265. You have ProRes, DV, and C. Then you have the teleprompter mode still built into this. You can see that right here on the screen. And then the lower row is obviously different qualities of recording. It's got the built-in touch sensitive 7-inch monitor, and it tells you all the features here. I'm not going to go over all of those tonight, but just give you guys my impressions. Here you can see it on a desk to give you an idea of size. And then this goes through how everything works. This clip button allows you to play clips without running off the end to the next clip. When enabled, it stops playback at the end of the current clip, and it can also be used to navigate back in the scroll wheel. So use that clip button so that it only plays that one clip when you want to play a clip back from the HyperDeck back in your program. And then it takes you back through each of these buttons. You do have a menu and set button up here. That's just like on the front of the shuttle now. So those buttons are already available. You have two little lights up here that light up. Again, you have the speaker button to get sound coming from here, so you don't have to use the headphones. I do believe when you plug your headphones in, it defaults to it on all the time. But if you do not have headphones plugged in, then it's going to default to pushing this button on the front of it. And I have that same button on my HyperDeck, but not on my shuttle. So the shuttle does not have headphones, but my HyperDeck, the newer HyperDecks do. So keep that in mind. That's an extra feature they took from the HyperDeck Shuttle HD Plus and the new HyperDeck HD Shuttle, the HD Mini, but the shuttle does not have that headphone. So if you want to be able to hear the audio, you got to run it through a monitor with audio. So keep that in mind if you buy the older HD Shuttle. So again, you can record, you got time code, all of that tells you the resolution. you have the different features. You can have an M.2 chip added to the bottom of it, and then you can bring up the storage on your network. You can record directly to the M.2 port, or you can come out of the HDMI in the back, that port, and or USB-C, and you would be able to record on the network, or the 10G port. You can actually record to your network, and you can play back HyperDeck files from that network port. It does not act as fill and key. I don't know if that's ever going to be available at all, but it does let you play clips back or load clips into the M2 drive, because just like dragging and dropping into another drive, as far as I know. So you can record to internal or external network storage. Again, the HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro model has a space for M.2 flash storage cards. And so the network storage is built in. This means that any editing system can just log in. I think you can do the thumb drives now as well. I read somewhere. So you'd just be able to plug those in. If you're not using the CFast card, you'd be able to plug one right in here to this SD port. I'm pretty sure that you can do that. It also will play a webcam out. So much packed into this. Supports SD cards and UHS 2 cards. So a little bit faster cards available in some of the older HyperDecks. Record to an external USB-C media disk. USB-C flash right here. So right here it says you can do USB flash drives. That's really cool. Here's the formats. Here's that page you guys already saw. H.265, H.264. And then on the back, it gives you good details about what all those ports are. So USB-C connect disk for recording, 12G SDI in. Still does not say what this HDMI, what quality that HDMI port is. Or the SDI out. But this does look like a 12G SDI out. So I would think this is a loop out as well. So this loops out, and then this loops out with those overlays. So again, kind of showing you, what happened here? Showing you the difference between formats, 1080p 60, all the way up to 4 times more information in 4K for bigger screens, 12G SDI. Here they are using it in a live broadcast or a recording on the device. HDMI is perfect for ATEM mini switchers. And then they're talking about being at the NAB show. 10G Ethernet port, again, for being able to transfer files. And you can see transferring a file right here. That's a Mac file transfer file there. And here it is next to a laptop. So you could use it as a playback device, bringing in videos from it through the USB-C port, because you can assign, I believe you can assign any that USB-C port now to like OBS or other broadcast software from your laptop, and then you could use this as a playback device. Again, wish it had Thunderbolt port on it, so it could play 2 alpha channels into software for live streaming from a computer. That would be really cool. So you can see the deck devices, and you can see the HyperDeck Shuttle 4K on the desk here. So here's a close-up of the device, audio files coming in, video playing, time code going, and I think it's a great device. So you have all of these deals available because the software from their video sys are built in. So you have waveform, you have all of those different scopes that are available to you, and it tells you right here the different scopes and the compatibility. So you could bring in, again, loop in your camera and be using this as your monitor on your desk for a live event, and then switch over and start recording from it. You can use it as a teleprompter. So if you don't have a teleprompter, you can use it on a monitor and put that monitor right below your camera and have a teleprompter that you could read for, or you could put a glass type teleprompter and then reflect it onto a teleprompter screen. So it could either be on a little stand like that, or it could be laid down right here and projecting up on the glass that you can see right there on the prompter. So ability to see the files, I really like that, and transfer them and then see them on the screen, which you can see them right here as it's laid down on the desk. So direct metadata entry for faster editing. So you could put metadata in. So here are all the different screens available on the built-in screen, all the different languages available. And obviously always showing it off with the Mac, and works with the world's most popular video software. And you can see DaVinci Resolve, Fusion, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, and Avid Composer. And those are some of the majors. There's lots of other over-the-counter software that you can buy to do video editing, but they don't all have broadcast tools. Okay, so this was originally released at $14.95 on Friday. And if you go to B&H, because they are in kind of lockdown for Holy Week, again, B&H, they shut down their online ordering, all that, but I don't know if you can still pre-order. They still have it listed at $14.95, where most of the other United States sites have raised their prices. And that's because of the T word, I'll say it once, tariff. And so obviously we're already seeing that reflected. So in the middle of NAB 2025, with Blackmagic Design having a booth in NAB and people going up and shooting videos and touching all these devices, which I wish I could have touched this HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro, but I couldn't. I'd love to be able to see how fast it transfers with the 12G or 10G Ethernet port, and see the quality of the video it records, the quality of the screen, the color of the screen. You can load LUTS into it. So pretty cool device. You can see it with a 2 terabyte M.2 card in. So it was at like $19.95, I believe, or $18.95 and $14.95. Now it's $16.95 and $2,085. Now, is it worth it? Well, I would have pulled the trigger at $14.95. In fact, I was going to kind of wait, do some research, do my due diligence, get on somebody's list. Probably not Adorama or B&H, because they will have the biggest waiting lists of pre-orders. And I don't know how things will change with pre-orders, with price increases or decreases. And who knows, with negotiations, the prices may go up, may go down within every 2 days. Who knows? It's the United States now, and it's wackadoodle. But anyway, so it does affect pricing on a lot of things that come from places like Australia, where Blackmagic Design is from. It can affect the M.2 chips. It can affect the supplies. I don't know what Blackmagic Design doesn't use that's not proprietary, that they build in factory, but I'm sure there's things like LCD screens that they don't create. So we'll see what prices do overall on Blackmagic's site, but pretty much everything they introduced, the prices went up on their page. I'm just letting you know. So if you got all excited at $14.95, you have to ask yourself if you're still excited at $16.45. So again, they've included some different devices, and I guess I kind of made a little mistake on my still image. Let me just own this. This device does not have Thunderbolt, so that plus sign should not be there. It's really a combination of the HyperDeck on the bottom left and the screen and the shuttle. Those three devices are combined in that. The plus sign should not be on the Thunderbolt device, and I can never remember the name of those devices for whatever it's worth. But anyway, back to me. So that one plus sign should not be there. I'll fix that and change the still image, but it will be like that in the intro, because that Thunderbolt was added to the next device we're going to talk about. So in part 2 tonight, for another half hour at least, we're going to talk about the new ATEM Extreme ISO G2. But before that, I want to address the questions that are in the room. So let's just go back and do this. So let's see if anybody has any questions about this. Good to have you here tonight. Just reading over these questions all the way from Australia in your new RV. So can't wait to see your new video. So go over and subscribe to Before We Kick the Bucket, and watch those good touring Australia videos. Good to have you, Akil, and Toto from Germany. Yes, price jumped up that quick. Might go up again. Yeah, it could. They say as much as 32%. For me, I'm going to wait for a sale. Yeah, I'm probably going to wait for a sale too. That looks like all the comments. No one else has jumped in here tonight. So yeah, main camera is more zoomed out, or a different lens, different than a month ago. Yeah, it's just more zoomed out. Let's change this back to multi-view behind me. So yeah, it's not a wider lens. I may have changed lenses. Sometimes when I'm changing cameras, this is now my new EOS R I bought used. And so it used to be my 5D Mark IV. So I have an EOS R there and an EOS R here. And I have my 5D Mark IV here, and I may have changed lenses, but they're all L lenses by Canon. Let's see. Can't get up. Ugh. Yeah, so this is my 2.8. This one over here is my f4. That's this shot right here, right there. And then this one right here. This is my 16-35, and obviously the lights are not set up for this direction or this direction. I can switch those up when I need to. I'm not going to do that tonight because we're just going to use this camera angle. So let's see if I'm missing any chat up here. Again, take a moment to ask you guys to finish answering. I have 19 votes on the HyperDeck on my question tonight. So please answer it if you haven't yet. Thank you for answering the poll. And so will you purchase a new HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro? 37% yes, 63% no out of 19. And I'm going to end that poll here in just a few minutes because we are going to do a new one for the new ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. And I want to get that up here shortly. So let me finish looking at the chat. Okay, it looks like I got them all because this is the same thing right here that Chio said. Okay, so let's go back to me and slideshow. So there's what I'm using. I have two of these right there, ATEM Extreme ISOs in my studio. And I would love to replace that with this. So right here, let's see. So I'd love to replace it with this new device right there. That's the new ATEM Mini Extreme ISO G2. You can see it is completely different. Just again, to compare those back and forth, little different picture angle, but you can see how many crazy buttons are on my two ATEM Extreme ISOs. They also make an ATEM Mini Extreme version that only records the program out, where this one, the ISO records all the channels out. And this new G2 device by Blackmagic Design is still HD. It still streams, it still encodes, it still does ISO recording. It now has a transition bar on it. It has the ability to do more than just two HDMI outs. It has three, and they're all routable. So that means that you can send any of the inputs through those, which is great. One more is perfect. I wish I had one more. And then here's the back of the device. So let's just go ahead and in this poll, 19 votes. 30. Oh, got another vote. 20 votes. So now it went from 65% no's to 35% yeses. And I'm ending the poll again. So make a note. Out of my listeners tonight, 20 people tuned in and voted on this poll, and 65% said they're not going to buy the new HyperDeck Shuttle 4K, and 35% said yes. So let's end that poll, and let's go over here and start this new one. Apologize. Let's change mics here real quick so you guys can still hear me. I got to maximize this to do a poll. So let's see, start a poll. Might as well show you guys how this works. So there's a plus button on the bottom that I already hit in the chat. Are you going to purchase a ATEM Mini? Just going to use caps, Extreme ISO G2 question mark. And that poll go up. Can never see with this crazy chat feature thing on here. Let me change this. No, I don't want to add another question. So I messed that up. Clear. And here we go. What is going on here? Let me pop this back out. Sorry. Sorry about that. Having technical difficulties getting that to display. So let's pop out the chat again, bring it back over here on my third monitor. So the new poll, are you going to purchase an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO G2? Please let me know in the comments, and we will get back over here to Blackmagic's site, and I want to take you guys through this new page. Here, me and a laptop, back on Blackmagic's site. Change back to this microphone. So just to review some of the new things, the new Blackmagic Pixis 12K really went up in price. So that's really cool. Here's a show of a bunch of things that he showed us at the video. You've got this new cloud backup, just swap hard drives in there. So you can put in 8 hard drives in there. You're still gonna have to pay almost $2,000 for that puppy. The new Blackmagic Pixis right there. You have the new DeckLink IP 100G card. It's $2,000. We're not going to talk about that tonight. We already talked about the new HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro. You have the new Blackmagic 2110 IP up-down cross 12G converter. That tells you all about that. That's $605. The new Blackmagic 2110 IP 12G converter here. So you can see what the differences are on those. You have new video hubs. So you have these little 4 in, 2 out, 6 in, 2 out, 8 in and 2 out video hubs. So never owned it, video hub, thought about it years ago, got cured. But that gives you a way to route things in your studio. Why they only have an option for 2, 2, and 4 out when they have an option for 4, 6, and what is that? 8 inputs. That makes no sense, but there you go. The new Blackmagic streaming encoder and decoder. So this is a decoder and encoder. So the decoder replaces the streaming bridge and has way more features. And the encoder gives you the ability to encode and send across the planet. And the other one gives you the ability to decode and bring it into a live stream. So you can check that out and watch the video. We're not going to dive into that device tonight. We're going to go here on the G12, and you can see that it is $21.95 now. The cat's out of the bag. So you still have the ATEM Mini. You still have the Extremes with the normal buttons, ATEM Mini Pro, but they replaced this photograph. So here you have the ATEM Mini Pro, the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. Now they replaced it with the new ATEM Mini Extreme ISO GT. So this device is still 8 inputs, but it is 3 outputs. And we'll look at the back here in a minute. But let's just read what this says. Powerful live switcher with 8 HDMI inputs, built-in streaming engine, multi-view, Thunderbolt for record, playback, USB webcam, DVE, chroma key, media player, and ISO recording of all 8 video inputs. And again, Thunderbolt for recording. That's a big deal. So again, adding Thunderbolt to this really adds the ability to now to come out of DaVinci Resolve or out of Pro Presenter into your program. You don't have to use up 2 inputs. So virtually, if I had this in my studio and I did all my graphics from my laptop, I would not have to use my HyperDecks anymore in the studio. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I still think HyperDecks are a little bit more stable than a laptop, especially if you're trying to stream and encode from your laptop and also be bringing graphics in. But there's just so many things you can do with that Thunderbolt port to be able to be recording video directly from the ATEM into your network or into DaVinci Resolve, doing replays back and using the Thunderbolt. So it's the perfect device really now to do replay because you have key and fill. So you could do animated graphics, overlays, as well as replay the graphics. So you could have replay fly across the screen, and then you could have it play the replay. Then you could have the graphics saying back to live, fly across the screen, and do all that from right inside DaVinci Resolve. In fact, Grant displays that in his video. So again, let's drop down here and take a closer look at this new beast of a device here. So here you go. You have the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO GT. Edit live productions with separate ISO recordings. Obviously, we've always been able to do that. You can import those files into DaVinci Resolve and then open it up and do some editing, even though not everybody likes how it ingests into DaVinci Resolve. But there's new things coming. Add exciting videos. So let's continue scrolling down and get past all of this old stuff. So you can add the switcher control, which it looks kind of like the new device, except for this has 2 rows. And this is so you can remote control the rack-mounted ATEMs, like the 2ME from this device. They have this new camera control, which is really cool. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. So here you go. Let's see, where does this start? Kind of a convoluted page. You really need to separate out these products. Here you can see the devices side by side on the table. There's just so much on this page. Okay, here is the back of the device all hooked up. You can see the Thunderbolt port right here going from the laptop. You can see the 12 or the 10G Ethernet port, the new CFast storage. So that's more expensive, but a lot faster. So those of us that have been having trouble occasionally doing ISO files on these or finding disks that are compatible, that don't slow down, the CFast cards will probably solve most of that. Even though it does not have a M.2 chip available inside of it, you can just use the CFast card and use that for your internal storage. You have 2 USB outs now, so you could use one as a webcam and one to store devices. So yes, you can use this as a webcam. We already have 2 USBs out now in the ATEM Extreme ISO, so that's not any different. But to have 2 Ethernet ports, one at 1 gigabyte and the other be a 10 gigabyte port, that's really important. So you could use the 10 gigabyte for creating a 10 gigabyte network, using your shuttle, using your new ATEM Mini Extreme ISO G2, and you could make a little network for transferring files, and that would be super fast. Thunderbolt for playing back, fill and key, and then you have 8 HDMI inputs. The Thunderbolt port is 40 gigabytes a second built into it. So it is Thunderbolt 3, and you can see the different speeds. USB 3, they're not showing you USB 4, which is somewhere in here. I think USB 4 might be 40 gigabytes a second as well. I don't know that math, but if you guys know that, drop it in the chat. Okay, so here is the front panel. And again, let's make this a little bigger. So you can see that you have dedicated knobs on the front, because you do have XLR jacks on the back, which is a big bonus. We'll talk about that here in a minute when we look at the back. So different buttons. So it's a lot different in how you change HDMI 1, 2, and 3 out. You can literally change those right over here. You still have macro buttons on the top row here, so that's changed. You don't have the key matrix on the top. So you lost some things and you gained some things. So I'm not going to go into all the details. I just want to point out some things tonight that I think are really cool. You do have the transition bar now, which is really cool. You have audio control. So you have knobs for controlling the audio. And so you can see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 knobs. So 2 of those are mic 1 and mic 2, and the other 8 are if you have a video playing back through one of the HDMI inputs, or you have a microphone on top of a camera, then you can control the audio. So make this just a little bit bigger so we can all see the buttons better. We'll look at the back here in just a second. So macro buttons, and you have the cue, run, and dump button. That is for replay. So again, you've got some of the replay features that you can now use this replay. So if it is hooked up with Thunderbolt, then you can automate DaVinci Resolve. So that's really cool. So you could have those 2 things going hand in hand. You have all of these over here. So you have audio functions. So you've got pan, levels, EQ, expander, compressor, limiter, gate, camera control. And then what you do is you click on the different channel button, and then you can control these dials, and it has a different looking audio interface. It also has a MADI input right here on the back. They talk about that here in a minute. So there's your output controls. Here's your DSK. So I got DSK1, DSK2, DSK1, DSK cut. So tie and cut. And then I have DSK auto and DSK auto buttons, fade to black button. You got all of these buttons. Background button right here, record, on air, stop, off. You got a preview button down here. Again, you can see the buttons in here. A master alt, forward and back. Again, I haven't played with this, so I'm sure when you push the channel button right here, that gives you the control of the audio. So if it's green or red, I think you have control of that. And I don't understand the color up here yet. unless it's saying that all these cameras are live. That would be really cool if that was true. Let's see, do they say anything about those buttons? Nope. So then you can do cut bus or program preview, and you can see how it works, just like the current ATEM. I wish they had 2 rows. I don't know why they went with 1 row, but they did. So fade to black, downstream keyers, transition control right here, cut and auto transition. Again, preview is green, program is red. So red is live, preview would be in the preview screen. And then here is a look at the back. One of the big things that I'm excited about also is MADI. So you can have 2 XLR channels coming in, but then you could bring 4 more and then daisy chain 4 more to that one, 4 more to that one. I think you can go up to 32 inputs right there. So again, you can buy a little box adapter. I think they're either $395 or $295 from Blackmagic Design. It's got a MADI in, a MADI loop out, and you just hook that up. You can plug in XLR mics in it. It has these joint jacks, again, 1/4 inch or XLR. So you got a headphone still, 2 locking XLRs now, which is great. They should sound better. I hope the preamps sound better. I won't know until we test it. Here's your MADI in. I wish it had a MADI out, but it doesn't. So this is just to bring MADI audio in. It doesn't let you feed MADI audio out to like a broadcast comm system. So I don't know how you would get around that. Maybe you could use some device in line. Who knows? Again, 8 HDMI in. Again, HDMI up to 60 frames per second. You have 1, 2, 3 HDMI outs. So that's adding 1 unless you buy the SDI version, which had 4 SDI outs. But the HDMI Extreme ISO only had 2 HDMI outs. You can now send whatever you want to it. You can also send whatever you want through the HDMI output down here. So 1 is designed for webcam out, and 2 is designed for recording to, again, 10G Ethernet, 1G Ethernet. So this could just be your basic network in your house to control your ATEM with a control software. But you could now network it through 10G Ethernet with like mix effects. So you could create a faster network for wireless and maybe have less issues of dropping things out when you're using your iPad to control your software. So I think that covers all the outputs in the back. So again, headphone, the new XLRs, the MADI in, the new Thunderbolt in right here. Those are a big deal. An extra HDMI out. Obviously, you added the transition control knobs for audio. You can control all 3. Let's see. I think you can control all 3 of the outputs. Maybe not. I see output 1, output 2. So maybe you can't. I don't know. I haven't played with that yet, so we'll have to see and read the information. But if you guys know already in the chat, please put it in the chat. Here is the MADI device. So you just purchase this. So you can now come in a MADI cable into the back of the ATEM Extreme ISO G2, and you could add 4 more microphones. So you'd have 2 on the back, 4 coming in. So you could have 6 people in a podcast. Or you can daisy chain another one of these devices and have, it's called the ATEM microphone converter. And then you could have another 4 channels and then daisy chain out another 4 channels up to 32. And that means that the audio interface changes. And so it looks like this now. So that is going to change what you're looking at when you're running this device. So they've added a lot more intuitive features and a different kind of a look. It's kind of a more of a modern app look. So I don't know if this means Blackmagic Design is going to start really kind of reinventing their apps. I hope they do. I hope maybe someday they'll purchase Mix Effects from Adam Tao or join up with him and create a wireless app that's not designed by a third party. Who knows? I don't have any inside information on that. So in case you guys know, I know Adam. But hopefully one day Adam will let us know that Blackmagic Design has purchased it and it will be a free app. Who knows if that will ever happen? But thank you, Adam, for creating Mix Effects because I love it. It's such a good deal at $50. So go check out Adam Tao's web page for Mix Effect. The app works on iOS only. Okay. Again, it works with all these devices. Build real-time video processing software. So incorporating it with DaVinci Resolve. I think they're just trying to drive traffic more to DaVinci Resolve. So you can buy the ATEM Mini Extreme for $1,095. They have removed the old ISO from this page. So now you have the G2. So I don't know if they're going to do away with the original ISO. Go figure. It is a generation 2, so they may quit making the old version like they did with the HyperDeck Mini when they came out with the new HyperDeck Mini HD and the new HyperDeck Mini HD Plus. And on up the food chain. And then obviously you have the Bluetooth controller, and then you have the ATEM camera control panel. So here's the old streaming bridge. And I just wanted to give you guys a look at the new one before we're out tonight. So any comments? Are you excited about it? Are you asking questions about it? Let's look at our poll right here. 6 votes. Yes, 50% of you. So 3 yes, 3 no. So make sure you answer the poll tonight. Are you going to purchase an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO GT? There's so much here, guys. I want to get my hands on one. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. It's a lot of money. Think about it. It's over $2,000. Then you have almost another $2,000 for the new HyperDeck. I want to get the HyperDeck Shuttle 4K first and do some training videos on it after I get a chance to use it. Integrate it into some live events I'm doing. But this new G2 is perfect for live events for my laptop, and the new G2 to be able to do replay graphics. But who knows? If I have the shuttle, why do I need the Thunderbolt? So again, let me know in the comments tonight if you're live with me, if you think that Thunderbolt feature is really good, or if you don't think that Thunderbolt feature is very good. Okay, chat on the air. 20 viewers. Thanks, Grish. Too bad it's so dang expensive. I agree. Hopefully really good preamps. Time will tell. It's got Maddie built into it, but that would bypass the preamps on board. I think Maddie does that. It's a digital transfer of data. I think the preamps are built in to the device. What is that device called again? The ATEM microphone converter. So many different names to memorize. You skipped that it has a CFast Express card. Yeah, okay. So again, I will just be agreeable. I thought I said that you could plug in a CFast card right here and do internal storage because it does not have an M.2, but maybe you text that earlier. But again, CFast cards, check out the cost of those. They're super fast. Some of the newer higher end cameras, especially the cinema cameras, have been using CFast cards for forever. So though they are expensive, they are more reliable and they're faster. And you could still just go with an SD drive or go directly to the network. So you don't have to use a CFast card at all. But it would be really cool to have graphics stored on that CFast card, especially stingers for playback if that's ever enabled. Grush, I wonder if you can use the Thunderbolt hub and have both an SD and it connected to a Mac. I don't think so. I think it's direct, but you could always try that. I don't have one to test that, or I would. USB 4 is 40 gigabytes, so that's just like Thunderbolt 3. Thank you for that, Chio. It's good to have your help. Let me put that on the air here. Go back to me and the logo on the air. So let's see. I wonder, I answered that. This is the comment about the CFast card, Grish, and good preamps. Doug says, hopefully the audio preamp is much improved yet. Needs to be improved for sure. I'm always brainstorming ways to bypass the preamps altogether. And I was thinking about remodeling the studio, and obviously I've been set back by my break of my ankle. So it's going to be May before I'm walking, maybe June before I can be heavy lifting, doing any sound events. I've already had to cancel sound events. Got another call today for a sound event in May, which I've already turned down one in Moses Lake, which was a paying gig because I do not want other people running my gear. I haven't trained anybody. I don't have anybody in my loop that knows how to use my PreSonus board. So that would be hours to train someone else. Yes, I could sit at the board and run audio, but if you're the main sound guy, you have to be mobile, and I would not be mobile by May. So good to have you, Tony. Hello, very late, but wanted to say hello. It's good to have you. You can watch back tomorrow, and Tony is from Quick Tech Solutions. Go check out his channel. DJ Ware has a video that came out today talking about open source availability, and he has lots of history with the whole transferring data around the world, internet, all that stuff. So check out DJ Ware's channel, check out Tony's channel, and Juris Design. Good to have you here, Gary. If you don't have a HyperDeck, go for the new version, or better to go old on. Well, okay. If you're going to buy a HyperDeck Shuttle HD Plus, it will do all of that. But again, the Thunderbolt gives you the ability in the new G2 to use your laptop. So now you can kind of use your laptop, Pro Presenter, DaVinci Resolve to do animated graphics. So if you buy the G2, you won't even need a HyperDeck to do kind of the things that I do with flying graphics and all that. And I do training on the HyperDecks for clients. That's why I need to get this HyperDeck to train people on it. And I do need to get the G2 to do videos on it as well. So Blackmagic Design is keeping me broke in my business. But I obviously have these tools, and I will probably sell one of my ATEM Extreme ISOs after I check it out, do some heavy testing to make sure everything's working right. So I would probably, if I like the screen, that's a hard question. So let's talk through this. Juris, sorry. DJ Ray, what are the differences between the HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro and the HyperDeck Studio HD? Well, the HD Plus does most of the same exact things. You don't have the touchscreen, so it's got the built-in monitor. It's got, let's see what else. Let me just think here real quick. You do have the speaker button, all of that. You don't have the ability to do all the touch screening, scrolling with your finger. You don't have the bigger knob, which really helps you. There's better forward and back. The screen has the built-in software. I think they're going to update it so you can preview clips. You can't preview clips inside the HyperDeck Shuttle HD Plus. You are supposed to be able to preview clips. That's really important. It's one of the things that I feel like needed to be fixed in the HyperDecks. But again, a 3-inch screen compared to 7 to me is night and day. But the price is huge as well. A HyperDeck right now. Let's go to product page. And I'll get back to your question here real quick. Here, Juris, Gary. A HyperDeck right now is HyperDeck Studio Plus has just gone up $100 because of the T word. I'm not going to say that word again. So the difference between that and the new Shuttle is little over $900. So you have to do the math, but you are getting the monitor. So this monitor right here is touchscreen. It's huge. You can use it for references, has the scopes and all that involved. So that's huge. Just having that monitor built in. So basically they took a Video Assist 7-inch. This thing will do 60p 4K recording. The HyperDeck Shuttle HD Plus, I believe, only does. Man, I could be wrong about this. It's been so long since I've been asked this question. Let me go over here. Man, let's just look at the specs here real quick. It's going to be faster for me than trying to find the page. Yeah, 30 frames per second. So you gain 60p in the new device. So that's huge. So keep that in mind. So this is going to let you be able to record at 60 frames per second. Again, you have all the readouts on the screen. So you don't even have to have a monitor anymore. It's right there on your desk. For scrubbing back and forth, this is huge. So you could just use this as a replay device. Let's say on the break at a conference, you want to replay video. So you just would scroll back, have your still image up there, scroll back and find a section you wanted to replay during the break. And then you could just replay it. You can incorporate this in through DaVinci Resolve and the cloud and make a system there and be able to play clips back from DaVinci Resolve. So again, you have a Grant demoed playing back stingers from this. So let's look at that real quick. That's a great question. Let's go back to home. Go back to Grant's video. Let's scrub up here. Yeah, there's this clips. Man, I hope I can find that again. There they are. So these are actually stinger clips. So he's accessing them. I can't scroll back here. 4316. Not going to play audio here. I do not have audio on my PC, right? Yeah. So let's just watch this here for a second and go back and watch. So go back to the video and watch right around 43 minutes into the video. But he's wanting to do a replay here. No, now he's back talking to the RG parades. So again, somewhere here he demos this. So I'll just have to let you guys find that and how he did that. So those are the major difference. The bigger dial, the bigger screen, 60p. There's more outputs on the back of it than the shuttle. So again, you have the M.2 card built into it as well, DJ Ware. So I will do a complete video eventually on the difference between those two devices, but off the top of my head, that's the best I can do. Okay, so if you don't have a HyperDeck, go for the new version, or better to go for the old. I mean, if I had the money, I would go for the new completely. You don't want to get the HyperDeck Shuttle HD and expect to play back key and fill. So it does not have a SDI out, A and B, and that's what you need to do key and fill. Remember, key and fill is the ability to do graphics and overlays and cut out the background. So the B channel cuts out the background, so it cuts out the back in white, and the front channel goes right over top of it. So this will be the front, this will be the key channel. So they go across the screen. If you run a graphic across the screen, and the space between my fingers was a striped shirt, you would get a moire as it goes across the screen. But if you had transparency on the graphic and you overlaid it like this, the white cuts out the background. So the white hand, which is hard for me to do this, I can't do it that way. The white hand would cut out my shirt as it goes across the screen. So that would be the key out, and then the alpha channel would go across with it. And so it would lay the video on top of that alpha channel, and the HD, the Shuttle HD does not have that. The HyperDeck Mini HD does not have that. You have to go to the HyperDeck Mini HD Plus, like I have in my studio. If you want that, you also get the little audio headphone jack. You also get the little speaker with the button. You also get the little remote button to turn remote automation on and off. So if you don't want it playing back automatically when you're hitting your macros in SuperSource, you can just remove that, and you can show your SuperSource if you're training people. And then you have your HyperDeck inside SuperSource. It's set to auto roll. You can just hit that remote and it won't auto roll. And that's great when I'm doing training in my studio. And that's happened to me many times when I've been showing a 4-box layout in my live streams. All of a sudden my HyperDeck starts playing audio because I have the audio on in my HyperDeck. So, okay. Thank you so much, DJ Ware, for the super chat, $15. We're almost there. I'll add it up. But remember, I've been collecting super chats to buy the new Playout B version 2.0, which will make this like a HyperDeck HD or a shuttle. So this Raspberry Pi can load in a Raspberry Pi version of Playout B from BitHive version 2.0. And they have a Mac version, a Windows version, so you could use your Mac or your PC to play back videos, or you could use this and automate it through the network port. And so, this has an M2 chip in the bottom, so I can load all of my files on it, and I could take this to a live event and play back my intros and my outros or halftime spots, and then I could transfer files back and forth to the M2 through the network. It's only a 1 gigabyte network port, but keep that in mind. So thank you, DJ Ware, and go subscribe to DJ Ware's channel. I appreciate the instant replay money. So, and you're welcome for that. So thank you for the super chat. Hopefully that was on the screen. So he didn't ask any questions, but I'm sure it's because I answered his question earlier. So, okay. So the last thing I want to do now, no other questions. Again, there's lots of other things to talk about the new HyperDeck and the new Extreme ISO G2. But until I have them, that's really all I want to do tonight because I can't really touch it and feel it. I can only read the documents. You can do that as well. But I do recommend to go see Grant's video. It's pretty easy to find it. I'm going to click on the page to the home page. I'm going to copy this and put it in the chat. I mean, literally, it's this easy. Just go to this page, not now, hopefully, and watch Grant's video. So I just popped that in the chat. Okay, so let me go back up here and make sure I haven't missed some stuff from earlier. Nope. Looks like I have them all. Let's see. Oh, Bert, thanks for joining me. Thought on a DeckLink Quad 2 8-port card with Sonnet box. Oh, you bought. Yeah, and they have a new card, the 8K card. So, you know, if you had a Sonnet and you have that, it's basically you can use ProPresenter, you can use DaVinci Resolve, you can assign those SDI 8 inputs as a input or an output. You could use it if you took a PC or the Sonnet Thunderbolt, device. It's basically a little PC and operates the Thunderbolt. You put the card in it, and then you can use it to port things to monitors, like LED walls and things like that. So, I know guys right now, I've watched videos on that have 4 or 5 of those. So they can run 4 or 5 video walls with those Sonnet devices and put different things on different sections of their walls, or one just gigantic graphic on a wall for conferences. So pretty cool videos out there. So check that out. Check out Grant's video. Go check out the 20 some odd products that were released. So back to this, you have all of these. You have new beta version of DaVinci Resolve 20 with some AI things involved in there. DaVinci AI tools, keyframe editor, voiceover palette, multi-layer composition, and more. Over 100 new features in DaVinci Resolve. Watch Grant's video, which is this video right here. The new Cloud Backup 8, the Pixis 12K, the new DeckLink IP 100G card for $2,000, the HyperDeck Shuttle 4K Pro. You have the new 2110 IP converters. You have the new 3 of these devices, the new Video Hub Minis. You have the new Blackmagic streaming encoder and decoder. So check those out. They changed the name to the Web Presenters. So keep that in mind. You have the new ATEM 4ME Constellation 4K Plus. That sucker is a beast. Not going to talk about it, but look at the outputs on the back of that thing. It is Crazy. This is a picture of it. This is the outside of it. It's that big. So it's a small device in a big case because it has 4 million outputs, 48 customized SDI outputs. That is crazy town. So, I mean, I'm just saying, and I'm right in my own mind. Okay. So, 2110s, these new Blackmagic streaming encoder. We'll click on this real quick. So again, these are the web presenters, basically. So in and out, the streaming bridges changed. They have the new micro camera control. They have this new Cintel scanner, which is higher definition. It's only $35,255. They have the new Blackmagic Pixis Pro handle on the top, the handle on the side right here. They have the new Blackmagic Ursus Sign 12K LF body. And the Pixis has the new 12K chip. Is limited on how high resolution it can go, but it does have the new big sensor in that Pixis. Not this one. This is the handle, but up here, the Pixis right here, 12K, which is pretty cool. And you can buy it with 3 different lens mounts. And yeah, I have plenty of time now that I have a broken ankle to sit and do research and check out all these things. I just don't have time tonight in the video. So Blackmagic Design iOS for 2.1 is available. You're going to be able to broadcast from that back to your studio using the decoder. So there you go. Lots of new devices available Blackmagic site. Now what I want to do, let's do this. Let's close all this for a minute. Let's open up Camera Hub here. And let's go to me and my laptop. So a new addition to Camera Hub, you have the ability. Now this is my Elgato Facecam, not the Facecam Pro. So I apologize for the picture. It's definitely not perfect with lights behind me. But I wanted to show you that under the effects page, and I don't have this plugged into my laptop. These are the normal effects, but they've added these new LUT effects. So 4 of these are included and 2 of these I downloaded. So you can add these LUTs and how much of the LUT you want to use. So you can customize your cameras, and then you could use this as a export camera into like OBS. So you could actually use a virtual cam and bring in with the web Camera Hub. So this works inside a Camera Hub. So keep this in mind. I'll look at this camera. So it works inside a Camera Hub. In fact, why don't I just go full screen because I'm in the picture. So this is available in Camera Hub, but you have all these different filters. I will really rack them up here. And so black and white, you have this filter. This filter is called Hollywood. I look like Hollywood right now. This one is called True Tone. This one is called, when you first hover over them, Vivid Boost. And this one is called Velvet. And so crank it all the way up, back, and then you could add them from inside your computer. You could go to Elgato, pre-installed LUTs. So you have all these options. So you have this new eye control. I haven't used it before, so I don't know if this is going to frame me or not. I haven't played with it. The other thing I want to talk about is in prompter mode. Let's go to text. They've added the ability to highlight, and it's right down here. Let's go auto scroll. Let's see where highlight text is at here. Overlays, position, and this is the Elgato Prompter. It's all one software. So there's also an app to bring your iPhone in. You would just choose it here on the list. I think I have that Elgato on my phone. That's the control center. See if I can find that app screen link. I don't know if I have to reboot. Let's go to effects and then back again. Am I doing wrong here? No, I don't want to get pro. Done. Settings. Done. Camera. Enable camera. Allow. Okay, there we go. So I'm on the app now, but I don't see it here. So let's go away from this and then back to the camera app. And it's not popping up. Let's reboot this software real quick. See if it needs to be rebooted. Camera Hub, let me quit Camera Hub. Quit, it's gonna shut down my prompter. And then let me reboot Camera Hub here. Hopefully this won't crash my computer. Make sure it's shut down. It is shut down. You reboot it. It's rebooting. Nope. I don't know why it's not syncing with the app. Maybe I have something wrong, but they do have an app, but I find it sketchy. But I do think it's pretty cool that there's some prompter effects now. Let's see, somewhere in here, you have a power on and off button, which is really cool. You can power your prompter on and off and not have to unplug it. Appearance, this is the font sizes. Scrolling, auto loop, show overlay, color, opacity. I saw it here earlier tonight. Font size, vertical, line spacing, text, opacity, scripts. Power on, power off, contrast. You're supposed to be able to highlight this. I did include the videos in the links below. This is not a complete tutorial, but if you want to add in more of these effects, you can go to their page right here, and here are all their free ones. So here's a bunch of free ones. In-game, they have some backgrounds. They've got some free LUTs up here. You can download your own LUTs. So let's do, I did Velvet already. I don't know if I have Bloom. Let's try it. I'm free. Let's get it. Okay. Let's see. Coffee Break, Film Noir, Hollywood, True Tone, Wild Beast, Velvet, Boom, Bloom. So there it is on all the way. So just wanted you guys to see that there is a new update to Camera Hub. So if you have an Elgato face cam, then you can, or a prompter, you can update that, and they're always adding new features. Again, there's links in the description below. I'll also pop in that Blackmagic design link so you can go over and watch Grant's video. Let's turn this prompter back to chat. So display view. So again, I don't know if that's an app you guys are using. Chio says, I know how to update my Camera Hub plugin in my Stream Deck to get the Windows to Prompter to work. Yeah, and then there's actually new Stream Deck software that you can do new buttons that are available in that update as well. So thank you for that, Chio, because I forgot about that. So there's new buttons for your Stream Deck that help you use those new background colors. I think they'd added that. There's also buttons to run your prompter. They added a new, the audio is supposed to be better. So automation is supposed to be a little bit better in this new update. So they talk about that. So go over and check out the updates. And again, the links are in the description below. again, guys, thank you so much for tonight. We have 8 votes. So love to have more votes if there's still people on with me tonight. But we have 8 votes on, are you going to purchase an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO GT? 30%, 38% no, 62% no, 38% yes, 62% no. We will end that poll here before we go off the air. So again, I'm healing up. Hopefully I'll be able to do some videos before not too long. Can't really move around much in the studio. It's not even good to have my foot not lifted up this long. Already been on, sitting down, getting ready for 2.5 hours with my foot not up. I can put it up on the Bose speaker right now, but again, it swells up and I need to get off the air tonight. But thank you so much, especially DJ Ware, for that. Again, shout out for that super chat, $15. I really, really, really appreciate that support of the channel. You guys watching my videos, I appreciate that. Make sure you check out the videos. There's some really good new stuff on here. I have a complete 2-part series on the Extreme ISO by Blackmagic Design. I also have one on the ATEM Mini Pro. I have one on the HyperDeck. I have one on the old HyperDeck, or the HyperDeck HD Plus. And I also have one on the HyperDeck Mini here on my channel. Lots of videos on Blackmagic Design products and other things as well. But thank you guys so much for being on with me live tonight. We're going to close this poll. Still got 8 votes. I'll give you 50 more seconds. So I'm going to watch the second hand, get a drink of water before we say goodnight, and roll the outro video. Let me minimize this stuff and get my video up here. I don't look at the stats very often on here. It says 105 views, 16 concurrent viewers. So I may have lost half of the viewers tonight. So maybe that's all we're going to get. I still have 8 votes and you guys have 20 more seconds. And I'll give you a little bit more. So 8 votes. It's been up. That has been up for 49 minutes. So we'll give it a few more seconds, 10 seconds now. If you want to vote, are you going to purchase an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO? That should be in the chat as a poll. And so I would love to get 1 or 2 more votes if you are listening. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. Sorry I wasn't live last week. So I've had 3 lives in 6 weeks now, I think, or 5 weeks. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to heal up as fast as I possibly can. Even though I'm really getting fond of these crutches. And I'm not telling the truth now at all. So I apologize for that. Okay. So it's been 50 minutes. There's still only 8 votes. So 38% say they're going to buy the new ATEM Mini Extreme ISO GT version 2 with all the newer features. And 62% said no. So great. You can spend your money on something else if you have any. Don't waste it all on gear, please. So Juris Design says, thank you, Keith, for good night, and good night to everyone else. Chio Walker, I wish we would add YouTube chat to the prompter. Yeah, they have it for Twitch, but they don't have it for everything else. Grish says LOL. So I must have said something funny like my lie. So I love those crutches. So anyway, I tuned a microphone a little bit. So let's do this. This is my shotgun microphone. So I tuned it up a little bit. It's got a little bit more room noise because it is about 6 inches or 8 to 10 inches away from my face to keep it out of the camera angle. If I pull it down right here, there you go. You can see it. So it does have a lot of handling noise, I noticed today. So I apologize for that. I won't touch it again. But there is my shotgun microphone. I've had this for years. I think it's wearing out. At one point, they told me I could send it back and they'd go through it. And then it started working again. So I should have sent it in and let Rode clean it up. But I love that microphone. I've got lots of use out of it. But I have my eyes on some new pencil condenser mics, as well as a new shotgun microphone like that. So my other comment didn't take. Grish, I was saying you need a HyperDeck oxygen chamber to speed up recovery. I do. I need to fast forward. Grish, that's a great idea. Would you invent that and then send it to me, and I will test it out live? I'll climb in that sucker, and you may never see me again. So I might not have a leg when I come out the other side. So I'll be your test subject, Grish. So let's get started. That's it for me. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your super chats. And thank you for your support of the channel. We have grown over now, hit the 500 mark. So how many subscribers I have now? 2,500, I think. Let's go back to the channel and see. Let's see, Keith, your channel. And I have, survey says, 3,510 subscribers. I don't know, somewhere like that. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It means an awful lot to me. And yeah, I have old speed of recovery, and I lost a week because of that crazy boot, which has been fired sitting by my easy chair. So with that, good night, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video.